We're live again. What a great thing technology is if used properly. Right, so we are at Bob Elliott's Music Makers NY on Manhattan, New York City. This is Guitar Quackery there. Yep, this is the Guitar Quackery live channel, YouTube channel you're watching now. And I was interrupted a little bit during the previous live stream because of, well, I had an appointment with a customer, so no big deal. That's what it's all about, right? I am, in fact, at work as we speak. And now let's go back to the shop. Oh, and here's the guitar, actually, that I took in. So why don't I show you? I might or might not be live streaming the work that I'll be doing on this guitar. I don't really know. I don't live stream every single guitar that's on the bench. But here is this one. It's an Epiphone Les Paul Special 2. It's a bolt-on neck. And it's got some issues. So the strings are too high. But this is all the way down, okay? So there's a little bit of a neck bow, but not too much. So we're going to have to shim the neck so that we can raise the bridge a little bit. Well, that's how it was made. There are some other options. Instead of shimming, we can... I can actually file down the neck pocket here at the front, just to, you know, to make sure the neck is better seated. I'm sure I'm going to have to open up these 4 holes. I'm sure these 4 screws are really tight through the body, and that's a problem sometimes. Well, they're just lazy at the factories. You know, they use one drill bit to drill through the body and then through the neck. And then the screws are actually screwed into the body. And that can affect the break angle. The neck angle. And then that affects the string height and the whole setup. Like I said, I might be streaming this, might not be. I don't really know. And if I do, it'll be in the next few days. So we'll see. This should be just a one-part live stream for the Epiphone. But the live stream you're watching right now is already part 12, which is really continuing part 11. Maybe I should call it 11A. I don't know. Okay, so that's that. I didn't get to finish all the paperwork just yet. I have some tags that I put on these. That's maybe something I can show you in an upcoming live stream, how I organize the work here. Why not? I use little vinyl pockets. Well, I'll show you, right? Okay, so this is some of the paperwork. But we'll talk about all that some other time. I'll show you everything, right? Because I think a lot of the people that are watching these live streams, the Guitar Quackery Live channel, must be people in the business. And I think it's a great thing to just share ideas, you know, and... Sorry, so the body is here, the neck is over there. We're working on the neck. Right now, I'm buffing the neck, the frets. And here, 13 frets. So I don't know if you can tell the difference on camera, but these are all buffed up to here. Okay, and this is just polished. And look at the reflection. So this is what you want to see when you move, that's a test, right? You want all of these reflection points to be moving evenly across the frets. You don't want them to move like that. Yeah, I did a refret on this. So far, knock on wood, so far so good. I don't really believe in this. Okay, but just in case. We're gonna put the fret shield right over here. Let's continue. And we had a good example of my struggle, I guess, with the streaming efforts, live streaming, because, oh, look, I have an audience. Because, as I was saying, it is an actual shop. I am actually at work. So sometimes it's difficult to manage the timing of the live streams. So today, right now, on the previous live stream was a good example because a customer came 15 minutes earlier and, okay. All right. But that also gave me the chance to check my text messages and respond to some other inquiries. Let's get busy. Here is, oh, you know what? I am going to be using this camera as well. So let's do this the right way. 2 people watching. All right. I have a feeling one of them might be the owner of this instrument, jazz bass. Only one of the viewers. I don't think it's well, sometimes what happens is I send a text message with a link to my customer, and then the customer forwards the link to a friend. So that's actually good, right? Good for business, because then other people might say, oh, I'd like to bring my guitar to that shop. Or maybe not. Maybe they say, nah, that's not really for me. And that's okay, right? Because then I save everyone's time. Okay, let's get busy. So that's the 13th fret, and here's the 14th fret. We continue. So I'll just finish this buffing procedure, and then I'll put the neck back on the bass, and then I will do a separate live stream for the setup. This way the live streams aren't too long, and I can kind of assign a different playlist for the setup. Yeah, so this fret shield is a 34-inch scale fret shield that I'm using for the first time. It is a relatively new product that Music Nomad just released. They released 5 scale lengths for guitars, I don't know, about a year ago, I guess. And I did write to them. I said, what about the bass? 34-inch. And they, at the time, I believe the reply I got was that they had no plans currently to do that. But obviously, it was just a matter of time when it would come out, and I'm glad it did. The fret shield is not for every situation. If you are going to buy just one, I would suggest you buy the 25.5-inch scale length for Fender. And there's a good reason why. So some Fender guitars that have a maple fingerboard have a very annoying issue. You can't tape them, tape off the frets, because then when you pull the tape off, it actually pulls the finish. So that's poly that didn't adhere to the wood correctly, I guess. Okay, two more frets. And a lot of techs, a lot of guitar techs don't even bother taping off the frets on, let's say, on a rosewood fingerboard, or not mahogany, ebony, or whatever other wood that is dark. And it really depends what kind of procedure you use for the polishing and buffing. In some cases, it's perfectly fine not to tape it off. Okay, so as you can see, I'm almost done with that, and I didn't even show you the other camera angle. Okay, so here it is. All right, that's that. And now I just remove this compound. And that's obviously also additional hand buffing. Don't really know how much of a difference it makes, but it can't hurt. All right. That's it. And we're not done yet, but looks good so far. Let me put this little tool here. I'm going to charge the battery. And now we use the finer buffing paste. I don't know if you can hear the banging pipes. The heat pipes make a lot of noise in the winter here. That's how it is. And I use a different you know, the finer buffing wheel, I guess it's called. Yeah. You got links in the description if you're interested. Okay. Here. Let's put this back this way. And now I can, sometimes when I do it this way, I like to start here. Because I just like to put the paste on the frets first, just a little bit. Less is more. And more is just a waste. More than needed is just a waste, yeah. So if I do it this way, I want to start here so that I don't, you know, rub it off. And 3 more frets. There. Okay. Now we can get busy again. So I'll start here. Full speed. It's got 3 speeds. I always use full speed. This should be quick. I move the buffing wheel all the time because we don't want to overheat the frets. I can see that people are watching. So once again, if you're new to this channel, this is Guitar Quackery Live, not to be confused with the other channel, which is called Guitar Quackery, without the word live in its title. So here you can watch me work in real time, or you can catch a replay, obviously. But if you are watching me live, you are watching me live in real time with a small delay, so you can see how I work. The other channel, Guitar Quackery, is different. I am only posting long-form produced videos on that channel. So you only get to see the highlights. And I haven't posted in over a month now because I've just been very busy. But I've been streaming here more often than I thought I would be. I took a break during Thanksgiving, not just from streaming, but also from work. Yeah, this is looks good so far. as you can see, I'm not using the rubber bands to hold the fret shield. I'm just pushing the two sides down. That's perfectly fine. I also like doing fret maintenance. So when people bring their guitars back within a reasonable period after I've worked on them, I can just do this last stage of buffing, clean everything, buff and polish, or polish and buff, and then restring the guitar. Sometimes it doesn't even need a setup, right? So I just do premium detailing and restringing. But only if I worked on the guitar before, kind of recently. So let's see, I'm curious to see how much compound is left on the frets. A little bit. And that's another reason not to use too much, because then you just need to clean the fingerboard. And you're just wasting the material. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if you need sunglasses, but this is shiny. Very shiny. Okay, the autofocus isn't really focusing where it needs to, but that's it. Okay, let's put this away and let's oil the fingerboard. I oil it sparingly. Where'd I put it? Where is it? I misplaced it. Or did somebody take it? Oh, no one else comes here. Okay, I do have a small audience. Oh, sorry about that. I do have tunnel vision, so if I don't put things where they belong, I can't find what I'm looking for. Oh, I know where it is. I put it in the fridge. I'll be right back. Here, the fridge is outside. You can't really see it from here, but it's over there. I'll be right back. I did have a small fridge in the workshop, but I had to return it. I'm going to get another one. Okay. Here we have just paper towels. Let's do it. Now it's a little bit too hard, I know, but it's still fine. I like it when it's just a little bit softer, but if I leave it out, it gets too soft. Now, what is this? Well, maybe you recognize the container. It's coconut oil, all right? I like to use coconut oil because it doesn't wick into the fret slots. So I like the consistency of butter. So now, because it's you know, quite cold, I need to keep all right. Now, it is my understanding that there's also a product which I used to use. I used many things to polish frets over the years. The white cloth that a text message came in. Another appointment. Okay. Yeah, so I have an appointment system with Square. I'll tell you about that later. So what was I saying? I was talking about oil. Is that it? I forgot. So my appointment system is just an online calendar, right? People can book an appointment to bring the guitar for an assessment. And I tell them if they should book a 15-minute assessment or half hour or an hour, depending on what they tell me. And I don't want to really talk about the guitar too much before they make the appointment, but I just want to have an idea. Are they bringing a guitar they just bought, or are they bringing an old Martin guitar that's, you know, probably needs a neck reset or something? So the minimum is going to be a 15-minute appointment. So they need to book it online, and then they pay for the appointment, and I credit that amount towards the work. But if we don't end up doing the work, then it's not refundable. It just becomes a consultation fee. So that's a commonly accepted procedure with doctors and lawyers and dentists, and I don't see why it should be any different, you know, in this business. Some people call it a bench fee. Yeah. So some places have a bench fee, some don't. So I don't really have a bench fee. I don't call it that. If someone wants to bring the guitar, I want to work on it, and they want me to work on it. So I need to look at the guitar first, and then we'll know then what needs to be done. I think this bass came in just for a setup initially, right? But it ended up needing a refret because there was an issue with the fingerboard, with the whole topography of the fingerboard. So that's a good example where I can't always do a setup. And if you watch the first part on this playlist, you will see why. We had to do a refret because we had to plane down the fingerboard to make it true first. Once again, I don't want to give you the impression that I'm putting a lot of this coconut oil. I really am not. It's just that it's so hard. I can only deposit small amounts at a time. But I don't use that F1 oil, or they call it lemon oil, which isn't really lemon oil. It's a misnomer, right? So I don't use any of that because the liquid oil wicks between the fret tang and the fret slot, and it makes that mechanical connection between the wood grains and the fret tang weaker. So sometimes the frets are actually a little bit spring-loaded as well, because it is common to over-radius the frets. For reasons that are being discussed already on YouTube. So then if that mechanical grip on the fret tangs is weakened, the fret can spring back, and then you have uneven frets. Something like that. Okay, so here we have, so the fingerboard's been oiled, and I always finish it off with terry cloth. It's cotton, I think, terry cloth. You can buy it in an auto shop. Okay. And I'm not completely done yet, but I'm going to put the neck back first, okay, on the body, reattach it. Okay. Let me check that appointment real quick. I think I know who made the appointment. Yeah, it's for tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, I was expecting this. So, yeah. Well, we need to do something here. We need to shim the neck a little more. And I'll show you why. So I already had this neck back. After leveling the frets, I had this neck back on the base, and I did adjust the truss rod to see, you know, and file the knot to see what... No, hold on. I didn't file all four. I fixed the G string. I need to check the other strings. Okay. But here's the issue. I keep the old strings as long as I can, because as you can see, I take them off, I put them back on, right? I don't want to do that with a brand new pack of strings. I put the strings on at the end, and then I just fine-tune the setup. But I do everything else, everything that can be done with the old strings, I do it. So this is what I want to show you. Oh, okay. Now I've got to put my switcher back on the phone. Takes a while. Here. This is what we see here. These saddles are... Okay, you can see these screws are sticking out. This saddle is too low. Okay, this saddle is too low. Then there's a radius, and you know, this saddle is also kind of low. So we want these saddles to be a little bit higher, so that we bury these screws, and so that they are actually going to be a little more stable, because there's going to be more downward pressure. But this is where the saddles end up when I do, well, you know, I just dialed in kind of like a rough setup after adjusting the truss rod just to see where I'm at. So they are too low. So what I want to do now is I want to angle the neck in this direction, which will bring the strings too low, too close to the frets, which in turn will require the saddles to go up, which in turn will bury those screws into the saddles. So there was a shim already here in the neck pocket initially. All right. So this shim was already there. And I noticed this issue already. So I added this shim here, but then it's still too low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another piece of tape here. So what I typically use is sandpaper, sticky sandpaper, self-adhesive sandpaper. Yeah. I have little rolls like this. So what I use is I have my sanding beams, and then when I remove the sandpaper, when the time comes to take it off and throw it away, I don't throw it away. I do this. I'll show you. Here's one of them. Okay, and then I cut them into smaller pieces. And why don't I show you on this one? Okay. Let me set it up. Here it is. So I just take a cutting board and, you know, any sandpaper. Let's use this old one. So it's still sticky a little bit. Just like that. And I just cut around it. That's it. So now that's my neck shim. Obviously, it's convenient because it's self-adhesive, so it's not going to move. It's also not slippery. And let's just put the neck back now. So as I recall, this is a tight neck joint. So we got to be careful if we know that it's tight, because we don't want to chip the finish. Okay. Obviously, it's good if it's a tight neck joint. All right. And now we put the screws back. It's those are wood screws, right? Which means they cut threads into the wood, into the neck. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that that the screws go back in the same exact orientation, I guess. So they need to go freely through the body. And now we want to turn the screw counterclockwise first until it drops into that threaded portion in the neck. Counterclockwise. And now it just dropped inside of the threaded portion. Now we can screw it in. And we do the same with the other three as well. Counterclockwise. Oh, I just felt the click. Click, all right? Click. And this one, click. All right? So it's important not to keep cutting new threads, because that weakens the wood grain inside of that hole. Okay? Okay. Now, the plate's been over-tightened already, but I'm not fixing that. I just need to tighten it to the correct torque right now. And now, now that's that. All right. I am not completely done with the frets just yet, but I'm going to do this last part now. So I'm removing any oils from the oiling. So yeah, there's one part that I kind of developed on my own, and I don't know, one day I'll share the information, but for now I just kind of do it, yeah, without explaining. So let's call it a proprietary thing. So I just do one last thing on the frets. Maybe I want to market it one day, I don't know. Or maybe I'll do something, I don't know. Okay. Now I will put the strings back. And then we'll need to check the nut. These, once again, are the old strings. I think I already checked the nut, but now I work on many guitars at once, at the same time. So sometimes things get mixed up in my head. So now I can see the strings are going to be too low. I'm going to raise the saddles before I put the strings to full tension, before I do any setup or anything. And then I will, for the setup, I will actually lower the saddles down to the proper height. But I think I want to do that in a separate live stream. The setup part of this. Now I just want to check the nut. I think this is that's part 12. So I think part 10 in this series was the string slot repair on the G string on the nut. I used dental composite fillings. That's on the playlist. You can see part 10, I said, right? This is 12. Yeah, so part 10. You know, that's interesting. If you caught it live, it was interesting to watch it live, but if you watch the replay, it should be, I guess, also interesting. Like I said, I'm just going to overshoot a little bit here. I'm just raising the saddles so the strings are not way too close to the frets. Also now the neck probably has a little bit of a back bow because the strings are not at full tension anyway. But I want to get an idea if I'm going to need to shim the neck even more or not. Because I like to see a certain height off of the bridge plate on these type of saddles. So, and if I feel the saddles are too low, then the vibrations of the bass, you know, are gonna make the saddles move a little bit because there's not enough friction between the threads of the screws and the internal threads inside of the saddles. It's kind of like if you have I don't know, plates on your table, and one of those cars with a subwoofer drives by your house and everything shakes. So the bass as an instrument does produce these low rumbling frequencies, and they can make these small parts move and throw things out of alignment. Oh, look, I got some comments here. Great stream. That's Cushman NYC. Thank you. Oh, Dr. Steve Cassidy is here. Hello, mate. Hello, doctor. Oh, Cushman NYC says, hey, Steve. So, Dr. Cushman is a fan of Dr. Steve Cassidy. That's great. I am a fan of Dr. Steve Cassidy as well. And the rest of you, if you haven't checked out Steve Cassidy Guitar, his channel is great. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Today is Wednesday, right? Yeah, so his live streams are on Thursdays, and sometimes when I can catch his live streams, I watch them. But now that I'm also streaming myself, you know, so I missed a few. And that's one thing that I realized when I started streaming is I can no longer watch my favorite live streams as I work on guitars. Wow. So check out Steve Cassidy. He's a guitar teacher. And we love his accent. He's from Scotland. Steve, you're still watching. One day I'm going to show up at your doorstep. Just wait and see. I'm going to bring a guitar with me so we can play. Yeah, let's check this out. Doesn't have to be tuned to pitch. I kind of wanted to hook up with Steve this summer because I went to London. But, well, it didn't work out this time. You know, schedules did not, we couldn't synchronize the schedules, I guess. He had something else going on. Yeah, plus London is not in Scotland. So one of us, where did I put? Oh, here they are. Okay. I have these nut files, Music Nomad. Now, I just want to make something clear. I mention Music Nomad products a lot, and I have absolutely no affiliation with them. Nothing. Not getting paid. I'm not. I know no one there. I have no contact. I just have the regular contact email that, you know, I use if I have questions, but no one asked me to promote them in any way. Some of their products I like, and some of them are not for me. But I like these nut files. And I'm sure the StewMac Diamond nut files are also great, but they're a little more expensive. And I think they do the job the same way. I don't know. Yeah, man, look at that. We have the nut. Maybe too much light here. Okay, that's better. So these are strings. So you can see when you tune the guitar or bass, you know, the strings actually slide through the string slots. I wanted to show you this. So this string slot was way too wide from the factory. So I had to do a dental composite filling on this. And that's part 10 on this playlist. You should watch it if you're interested. Now, what I want to know is if these are too high. Let me check. I'm just eyeballing it now. You know, they look perfect without even measuring. So I don't think I'll be filing anything. Oh, it's right where it needs to be. I mean, one of the strings that I checked. So these live streams do take a little bit longer than just doing the work because, you know, I'm fiddling with cameras. But I guess I don't mind. Maybe this channel will get monetized one day and the replays will be playing some ads. Oh yeah, in the meantime, if you feel that I've helped you out in any way, you can click the link below that says buy me a coffee. Thank you. If you don't, that's fine. And if you do, thank you. Where was I? Okay. Is this in autofocus? Manual focus. Let me focus first. Okay, we're in focus. And here we have it. We have this. This is my dial indicator, the little plunger, the dial. We are measuring after I push the fret against the second fret, that little gap that remains. So it's always hard to do it on camera, but here it's riding above the first fret, right? Now I first need to push the string against the second fret right there. And this is the little gap now that remains. We have, hold on, but now it's not showing the same way. Oh, this is it. Okay. Now on this one, a little too high. And here we have the, sorry. Oh, this string needs to be a little tighter. It doesn't have to be tuned to pitch. And we have almost no space. Look at that. But I can see the little space. I can show you that with the feeler gauge. So this is the onion skin. And oh look, almost no gap. Look at that. But I can see the little gap. And I can hear it when I tap. So, and this one I already filed last time. So this is almost zero. It's a little bit above zero, but it's fine. It's not buzzing. So we need to file this one with an 85 gauge file. And I am going to do it like this. Let's remove the string. Okay, maybe zoom in a little bit. And, you know, sometimes what I like to do, I'll do it this time. I don't always do it, to be honest with you. I put a little line at the bottom of the string slot. This way I see what I'm doing. I mark it off, and I want to hit it at the back first. Okay, so what I'm discovering here is that this string slot is actually narrower than the string. You can see that now. Now I'm trying to file the bottom. So a narrow string slot is going to be trapping the string at the two sides, right? But the string is not going to be touching the bottom. I mean, it does work okay like that, but so I want to make sure I don't file it too low. In that case, now that I know that it's kind of pinching the string. And let me double check. This is now lower than it was for sure. So we do have a space, a very small space. You can use feeler gauges to do this. This is a slightly thicker one, and that's a slightly thicker one. So I can still file it a little bit lower. And in fact, I do want to do that because I don't like this pinching. Okay. Hopefully I didn't file it too low. And if I did, we'll have to fix it. No, I can still go lower. Just a little bit. And one thing that you can do, I learned that from my buddy Evan. Hold on a second. Let me check first. So this one's getting trapped a little bit. See? All right. So this is low enough. Now, let's remove the string. I'll show you a little trick that I learned from my buddy Evan Gluck. We want to use a smaller file and just remove a little bit at the back here. So I can use maybe a, let's see if maybe a 42 gauge file will work. This is 42. Let me check. So just at the back, at an angle like this. And this way, hold on, let me explain. Yeah, it's good. So this way, we'll have just a little bit more pressure here at the front, okay? Which is a good thing, hopefully, yeah? Yeah, I think this is good now. So this one shouldn't be passing. Hold on. Yeah, it's getting trapped. Okay. Now the 5/100ths of a millimeter is passing. So we have 5/100ths of a millimeter gap. Well, when we push it down against the second fret, right? This remaining gap. And that's what we want on a bass. Now I am going to end this stream. Should I? Yeah, I'll end it. I'll take a break, and then we'll do the setup. So thank you, friends, for watching. And like I said, if you... so Dr. Steve Cassidy says, sounds great, mate. I think it's about me showing up at your doorstep, right? Yeah, one day. You'll see. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So if you liked this, you have some options to click on. Like one of them is the thumbs up. If you did not like it, then just tell me why. Yeah. And if you liked it really very, very much, you can buy me a coffee. There's a link. Thank you. Okay. I'll see you soon. Bye.